I, 28 female, met my husband, 28 male, 4 years after he divorced, who everyone in his family calls the love of his life. It's okay. I don't really care if they think that way because my husband has assured me that it's not the case and that he'd never consider her the love of his life. He told me that they were pretty toxic and that the relationship grew so bad that the best for both of them was to let go. Even when his first wife, Mindy, didn't believe it. It was pretty hard for me to get accepted into his family, especially for his mother. She was so in love with Mindy and adored her as her daughter-in-law. They were pretty close and even got depressed after Mindy moved to another state since she didn't want to be near my husband. Time went by and my mother-in-law and I bonded after the traumatic loss of my father-in-law almost 2 years ago. His passing crushed her horribly, and my husband and I tried to be there for her as much as we could since he's their only child. The joy came back to her life after we had our first son. Mother-in-law found a new push to live thanks to him, and even though we didn't become the perfect family, we are close enough to let my mother-in-law know that she'll never be alone again. But when the virus began, money became tight for us, and after having our baby, my husband and I decided to prioritize our needs. We used what his father left him and some of our savings to buy a house and decided to have a small celebration after we were legally married. But my mother-in-law said no. She offered to pay for it since she was proud of my husband for doing what was best for our son. At first, we said no because it didn't feel right. But my mother-in-law convinced us, saying that she didn't want to miss the wedding, just like her husband did, if we ended up taking too long. We made it small and simple because we didn't want to take advantage of her, and we even let my mother-in-law have her way in some decisions. When the big day came, she has Mindy by her side, and my husband and I are confused. My mother-in-law approached us and we asked what was happening. She said that she invited her to the wedding because it was a special day. My husband said that yes, it was a special day for us, and that Mindy had no business being there and would appreciate if she left. My mother-in-law looked at me, and I said that I would rather that too. But my mother-in-law got angry and said that she paid for the wedding and she could invite anyone she wanted. While we both agree, we said that Mindy wasn't really anyone, and that it was the fact that she didn't tell us before rather than inviting her. She said that if Mindy had to go, she'll follow, and my husband said, then go. She ended up saying that she's gonna stay, but that we had to tell Mindy to leave, which my husband gladly did, and my mother-in-law spent all the evening mad. After the wedding, we offered to pay for half of it, or even everything if she wanted, but she said that the damage was already done. Not the a-hole. I would go no contact with her faster than I could type this comment. Not the a-hole. The fact that she quickly pointed out that she is the one who paid for the wedding makes me believe that this was her plan all along. Not the a-hole. She was probably planning this all along and was going to hold the "but I paid for this" over your head. Good for you for setting boundaries. Congrats on your wedding. I, 25 female, had been with her, 26 female, for a little over 3 years. About a year and a half ago, I had a feeling that she was getting distant. When I asked her if everything was okay, she insisted it was. But then she ghosted me completely 2 days after that. She went completely no contact for 2 weeks. I tried to reach out several times, but there was no answer. She came back after 2 weeks, just showed up like nothing had happened. She didn't even tell me what that was all about. When I questioned her about it, she said that she just needed some time and changed the topic. She told me she wouldn't do it again, only to do it again literally less than a month later. She ignored all my calls and texts. The silent treatment continued for weeks. This time, when A came back, she assured me it had nothing to do with me, just like she had the first time. I gave her an ultimatum that she talk to me instead of ghosting me without any apparent reason, or we're done. I thought she might be cheating on me. When I asked her if she was, she instantly became defensive and told me she would never do anything like that. Things were going pretty good for a few months after that. We were communicating with each other, and my college was going well. Then one of our mutuals sent a screenshot of A making out with some dude from her private story. When I confronted her about it, she merely shrugged and told me that she was just checking out the other side with me. She had discovered that she wasn't actually queer, and she left. I was miserable for months afterwards because I had truly been in love with her. It hurt me so much I couldn't trust anyone else for a really long time. I still can't. Fast forward to a few days ago, when one of our old friends I'd fallen out of touch with texts me. We catch up and make plans to meet. She then adds me to a group chat with a dozen people, some of who I knew and some who were new. Then she tells me that A was going to get married, and she wanted a photographer to capture the whole thing. I explained to her that I'm not a professional photographer, and that I photograph birds, not people. I go bird watching with my dad, and it's more of a hobby than anything else. One of the other people in the group chat said that it couldn't be that hard to click photos. Immediately, everyone else supported her and told me that I should just do it, especially because A and I had been really good friends. When I continued to refuse, one of them told me that I was being a B because I was petty and resented A for trying to figure herself out when she was young. They told me that I should be considerate and do a good deed for her. Did I mention they wanted me to do it for free? I told them that there was no way I would be able to do that and left the group chat. Ever since, I've gotten numerous texts from friends and A's family telling me to just do it and not ruin her big day. Am I the a-hole? So, she cheated on you for who knows how many months during your years-long relationship, and about 12 months later, she's marrying presumably the person she cheated with. But somehow, people believe that you should photograph the cheater's wedding for free because, checks notes, you have snapped some bird pics in the past. And somehow by saying no, you're ruining her day? As if no other human on earth owns a camera? What the duck is even this? Hard not the a-hole. Easiest not the a-hole I've seen here in a long time. All these people need to be blocked. Not the a-hole. So your ex cheated on you, is getting married to her affair partner, and is upset that you won't do this for free. Why are you still talking to your ex in the first place? Go no contact. The other people in the group chat can easily pool their money to fund someone else's wedding and hire a professional photographer. Even if you and your ex were friends, she should still pay you since this would be work. I'm petty as all get out. Agree to it. Take the pictures, then ghost her. Never give her the pictures, or charge triple what they would have to pay a professional. But that would be me, not the a-hole. I, 40 female, live with 2 of my children, 19 male and 16 female. My ex-husband used to give me €230 for every child every month. Once the kids started working, they both started contributing €200 each every month, instead of their father's child support. For medical reasons, I don't work. I get a government refund of €460 every month. We're a very low-income family and barely make ends meet every month with only €860 from which I have to buy food, toiletries, and pay all the bills. Earlier this summer, my son's girlfriend, 20 female, came to live with us full-time. She used to spend here 3 to 4 days of the week, but eventually, she started living here every day because A, she and my son have more privacy here with their own room, whereas they don't have a room at their parents' home, and B, her work is closer from here. I feel it's unfair that I barely spend any money on myself, but she's living here for free. This week, I decided that it was finally time to view my opinion on the matter. I told them both that since they're both employed adults, they both had to start paying their part, €200 each and every month. If they were to go live on their own, they would be spending so much more than that on rent alone, which they both know. I could see that my son was flustered during the talk because he knows I'm right, and that it's not fair that I'm making sacrifices while his girlfriend doesn't contribute a penny. They don't want to go live on their own, and living at their parents' house permanently, whilst they don't have to pay, they won't have any privacy. Then girlfriend said that she doesn't think it's fair that she pays €200 because she's not comfortable here because of my 3 dogs. She's right that the house is a mess, and maybe we should all clean a bit more. But she's still making use of all the food and amenities here, and I don't see how a dirty house has anything to do with that. To add insult to injury, her parents are adamant that she shouldn't pay, for whatever reason. They encouraged her to go eat and shower in their house, so she doesn't have to pay anything, even though she's still making use of the internet, water, and electricity whilst here. She keeps saying that she doesn't have to pay a thing, or do any chores at her parents' house. I understand that people live differently than we do, but I want to know if I'm the a-hole here for requesting that as long as she's living here, she pays her part as a grown employed adult. Edit. First of all, thank you all for your contribution to this post. I showed this post to my son. He was actually the one who encouraged me to post it. He showed it to his girlfriend and she got upset. She decided to move back to her parents' house. I really don't want her to leave because I have nothing against her, and I loved her as my own child. Also, I know this will impact my son negatively because he won't be seeing her every day. But I can't financially support a full-grown adult, and even if I could, I shouldn't have to do it. For all those who are asking, I'm not in the US. I'm in a European country, and things here are a bit different. 16-year-olds are considered adults by state. Their father isn't paying child support anymore as per our court-ordered divorce contract that states that once kids start working, gain full-time salary, he's not obligated to pay child support anymore. He does still help the children financially individually in things they might need. Not the a-hole. She's living in your house, using your utilities, food and such. Even if she were to shower at her parents' house and eat there too, she's still using your stuff because, well, she lives there. Her saying she didn't have to do so at her parents' house makes absolutely no sense. She's not there. She's more than welcome to move back if she so wishes. I'm sure you're not holding her hostage. If she doesn't want to contribute or do chores, then she should move back. She does not want to pay rent because she's uncomfortable with dogs, but is comfortable enough to live with them rent-free. Girl, bye. Not the a-hole. Not the a-hole. She lives there rent-free, eats your food, uses your internet, water, electronics. She's pretty much just leeching off of you at this point. Of course, her parents don't see an issue with her not paying. She's not living with them and using their things. OP, this is your house. You make the rules. If she doesn't want to pay rent, do yourself a favor and kick her out. I turned 21, female, a few days ago, and I'm not usually the type to celebrate my birthday. I haven't properly had a party or a birthday dinner since I turned 12, maybe. This year, I decided to because I've made enough money to go big for this one time, and it was a good opportunity to bring friends and family together. I booked a nice venue and had some good food, all with my own money. I felt like it was a bit narcissistic to have people sing to me while cutting a cake I bought myself, so I didn't. The whole point of the dinner and party was for them to enjoy themselves. What I didn't expect was my mom and dad preparing a nice cake for me and surprising me with it. So, you know, the usual singing. But towards the end, my sister's, 25 female, boyfriend, 26 male, kneeled down and proposed to her. She said yes, by the way. I was super happy for her. She deserves it more than anyone else to be married to the person she loves. I'm not mad that she stole the spotlight, but more taken aback that my sister's boyfriend didn't tell me anything about it. In fact, he didn't tell anyone that he was going to, even my parents. They said they knew he was going to ask her to marry him a month or two back when they were talking about it, but didn't know he was going to do it at my party. I really wouldn't have cared if he would have just given me a heads up that he was going to do it. I would have made sure I had a venue just for her if needed. It just felt like he was taking advantage of the venue, day, and time to propose. My sister was nice enough to ask if I was okay with it, and I said yes because I didn't want her to feel bad. But I did tell my sister's boyfriend that it was slightly inappropriate that he didn't tell anyone anything about it beforehand, and it just seemed like he wanted to do it because it was convenient. I would have been more than happy if he would have just told me. It would definitely be a night just for them if he just told me. He told me, "You never cared about birthdays, and it doesn't make a difference if I told you. So why care now and be a jealous bee?" I left it because I didn't want to ruin it for them. I did tell my mom about what he said, just to get it off my chest, and her being the feisty lady that she is, told him off, and my sister now knows about it. I feel bad now that I ruined her engagement because I know she probably feels bad. He said I shouldn't have told my mom because it's none of her or mine's business. He wasn't wrong about me not caring about birthdays. So am I the a-hole for confronting him and making it a big deal like he said? Not the a-hole, and duck that guy. He called you a jealous bee because you had the nerve to ask him why he used your party for his personal gain? What a putz. Glad your mom let him have it, and I hope your sister does too. Happy birthday, by the way. Oh no. Oh hell no. That is aggressive and wrong. You did not ruin her engagement. He did. Whether or not you care about birthdays, you hosted an event. You paid. Your parents brought a cake. It wouldn't have mattered if it was a birthday, graduation, job promotion. It was your event. He made it all about himself, not even your sister, who immediately felt bad and asked if you were okay. If your sister is smart, she will totally rethink this guy. That proposal and how he handled it is a red flag that I can see from my house. Not the a-hole by a long way. Thanks for paying for the venue, getting all these people here so I can hijack the event and making it all about your sister and I. Sorry about that. And he really deserved the telling off for speaking to you like that. For starters, this conflict is not with my sister-in-law, but with my husband, Jay. Some info because it's easy to miss stuff. I was on my period. I get bad periods and usually take medication, but haven't whilst breastfeeding. I always pump a lot of excess milk and donate frequently. When on my period, I leak from my breasts a lot more. Our child is 6 months. I have PPD. I sadly have no living family members, so my husband makes an effort to make plans with his so I can connect with them. I get on great with everyone. That has never been an issue. Last week, my sister-in-law invited us both round for dinner, as Jay's mother was staying with us for the week. She lives out of town. Whilst we originally accepted the invitation, the day of, a couple days later, I was hesitant to go and asked Jay if he minded if I stayed home. He did. I had just gotten my period that morning, and I could already tell today was going to be a hard day for me mentally. I just didn't feel like I would be able to let our child out of sight, let alone leave him for a few hours. Yes, I am in therapy. Yes, I can still have bad days. Anyway, Jay ended up convincing me to go as sister-in-law had sadly once again not gotten pregnant through a round of IVF. Everything was going well until near the end of dinner, when I realized breast milk had leaked through my shirt. I honestly had nothing left in me after this, and just wanted to go home. My sister-in-law said she understood completely. She's so supportive, love her, and had no problem with it. My husband, however, was embarrassed and said no to us leaving. My sister-in-law gave me one of her shirts and moved us to the couch to start pumping. Jay was still in the dining room with sister-in-law's husband, so I had already finished pumping one breast by the time he came into the lounge. When he did, though, he just started yelling at me. He started ranting about how horrible I had been to his sister all day, by not wanting to go, etc. And now, apparently, I was shoving it in her face that we have a baby and she doesn't. Mind you, all I wanted to do was go home. I was cramping like hell, bleeding through products every hour. Don't try to educate me on my own period, please. And missing our child, who I never wanted to leave in the first place. I tried to reason with Jay, but he said that our child is 6 months old, and this is getting ridiculous now. We left after this, but on the drive home, Jay said his sister's husband was giving him flack for marrying someone like me who is weak and pathetic. When we got home early, Jay explained the situation to his mom, and she was on his side, which surprised me as we have never butted heads in the past, and sister-in-law wasn't even upset about it. She believes that my sister-in-law is just putting on a front because she's a really kind person, but was likely upset by actions. That comment made me think I might actually be in the wrong. So am I the a-hole? Not the a-hole. I have a feeling a lot of your depression comes from being married to such a colossal a-hole. Dude makes you do things you don't want to, then goes off the deep end when you play along? Yikes. Not the a-hole. You know, after I had my second child, I thought I was suffering PPD, until my fantastic doctor said, you need to ask yourself, are you depressed because of internal stuff, or is it that you are surrounded by thoughtless a-holes? It sounds like you, just like I was, are surrounded by thoughtless a-holes. Why is this man telling you how others are supposedly trashing you? The only reason to say that is if he is explaining why he is cutting this person out of your life. I don't want to tell you to leave, but I do want you to start paying attention to how this man treats you and your child, and take the actions you would beg your best friend to take if she was in your situation. These people are awful. They treat you like an animal. You sacrificed your body and your mind, and your lousy spouse can't even notice that. He wouldn't let you stay home, but he wouldn't let you breastfeed at his sister's. He sounds like a controlling a-hole.